Hey guys, let's talk about what I just saw. Let's go on an expedition, shall we?
The new Disney adventure film, Jungle Cruise, based on the beloved, charmingly cheesy ride in the various Disney parks, is out in theaters and on Disney Plus, and it was a funny, thoroughly entertaining bit of lighthearted fun. The film takes place in 1916 and follows an aspiring doctor/researcher named Lily who sets out with her foppish brother to the Amazon rainforest to find a fabled tree whose flowers contain magical healing properties. Upon arriving in the Amazon, she comes across Frank, a local jungle riverboat tour guide who is tired of the monotony of his life and who has heard of the legendary tree. Reluctantly, he agrees to help her find it, despite being aware that a German officer is after the tree too, and that there is a legend that states that the path to it carries a curse tied to conquistadors who tried to find it hundreds of years before.
Now, here are some of the things that I liked about this film.
First of all, Emily Blunt is fantastic as Lily, as she not only holds her own in the more action-oriented scenes, but gives a performance that is charming, funny, and assertive at the same time.
If only we had gotten that timeline where she got to play a certain other Disney-owned badass.
Also, Dwayne Johnson is good as Frank, displaying his usually reliable charm and ability to command a scene with his physicality, as well as providing some actual nuance to his performance as we learn more about him. The supporting cast is also for the most part rather solid, providing a nice variety of colorful character types. The action scenes are also well done, as they maintain suspense and are visually easy to follow. Additionally, the film is beautiful to look at, as it is full of lush, bright colors and beautiful locations. Finally, the film is full of wonderfully silly and appropriately cheesy humor, particularly in the moments where it incorporates aspects of the Jungle Cruise ride in a charmingly self-deprecating way.
Now, while I did really like this film, there were a couple of things that kept it from being among the best films I've seen this year.
As I said, this film is set in 1916, during World War I, and I had been under the impression that it was supposed to be set in the 1930s. As such, I sadly didn't get to see the German villain of the film as a Nazi who gets his ass kicked.
However, unlike a certain other film set during World War I from recent years, in this film the war itself really doesn't amount to much in terms of the plot. So I was able to forgive the film for being set during that time period and still enjoy it.
In addition, it does show that clearly there were multiple versions of the screenplay where the various villains were sole antagonists, and that it was probably a late decision to put them together in the main story. Because, given their polar opposite motivations, the villains of this movie unfortunately just don't mesh very well together. That said, the actors playing them do the best they can with what they're given to work with, and still give competent, if not exceptional, performances. With all this said, I'd give Jungle Cruise a B+. As my disappointment with the time period chosen and the handling of the movie's villains were made up for by strong performances from its leads, nice action scenes, pleasing visuals, a competent supporting cast, and an appropriately silly and often corny sense of humor.
Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. Also, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. And if you have any spare change, there's always my Patreon. By the way, special thanks to Patreon supporter L'Oreal McNabb. Have a nice day!